Morning. Welcome to Power Fun Fridays. Power standing for the potential of women entrepreneurs realized. We want to thank you for joining us today for our home nail care with Reece Gutierrez from Holy Chic. I'm Julie Hill and I'm the director for Sonabank Power. And also joining us is our marketing team, our HR team. We all welcome you today. Before we get started though, in the chat box, can you provide your company name, your email, your website, and where you're located? Because we want to know who's with us today and joining us. Let's also too make sure that we're engaged throughout this whole presentation because we have a little fun surprise at the end. So questions and answers are definitely wanted and needed because Reece is there for you. I'm gonna read Reece's bio. Reece is the founder and the creative head of nail salon Holy Chic Company. Launched in 2016, her growing business is leading the revolution within nail care industry, one waterless service and flawless toxin-free paint job at a time. Reece also currently oversees 2 salons, one in-house line of everyday luxury nail products and an online platform. We know Reece is really busy. Reece today is going to share some tips, some demonstrations, and really why is her passion there for nail care. I don't know about you, but I think right now we should all show our nails because we definitely need Reece for sure. So Reece, take it away. We need your help.
Well, first of all, thank you everyone who has joined in to tune in and talk about nails. I hope everybody is being good to yourselves during quarantine. But I mean, we've been talking about nails during this time because I think it's just a little something that makes you feel a little bit better about yourself. So I'm glad to, or I'm happy to share with you guys how to take care of your nails at home and, you know, just little tips and tricks that you can kind of carry on even when, you know, everything does open back up outside. These are things that you guys can use at home to make sure that you're maintaining healthy nails. So I know on the list we were talking about proper polish application. I think this is a good one just because I think everybody can do their dominant hand very easily, and then the other hand is looking a little crazy, getting on cuticles and skin. So I'm just gonna kind of go over how we can kind of just some basic tips that you guys can carry on at home. So I'm going to show you guys how to polish with regular lacquer because a lot of people probably don't have gel polish at home. You're always going to want to use a base polish. So the base is going to basically nourish the nail bed. It's going to absorb into the nail bed just to make sure that things last longer and things adhere properly. So if you guys have a base coat at home, definitely use it. It's not a nonsense step. We use it, all professionals use it. You can find a base coat really, you know, at Target or anywhere. I'm going to use P.O.W.E.R. Actually, I'm not going to use it just for dry time purposes, but you're going to lay, you know, a thin coat of your base coat. And then when you go in with your polish, you want to do kind of like a 3-stroke rule. Just because 3 strokes, you're going to go in the middle and then to the sides. When you do 3 strokes, it's going to dry faster, and it's I'm trying to say is you're not going to have as many mistakes. So we're going to go and polish this. I don't have fingers, obviously, because my nails are done. So I made fingers for you guys. All right. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a good bead at the bottom. So there's kind of like a little hump there. And we're going to just go down. I always kind of rest my finger, obviously, when you are using just yourself, you're going to go down. I went down the middle here. And then I went down to the sides. So you just want to use 3 strokes and then only 2 coats of your polish, because any more than that, it's going to, it can get goopy. It's the dry time's going, I mean, how many times have you guys painted your own nails? You want to go do something and then they're messed up. So that is the proper way to polish. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys because it doesn't look finished, but once you go in that second coat, it makes all the difference. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going right down the middle, and then I'm going to the sides. And then when you put your top coat on, it's going to settle all the polish. So if you guys can see that, I feel like a YouTuber. Can you see that? Awesome. Does anybody have gel polish on right now? Or is everybody free? Shay, of course, Shay has gel polish. I want to talk about removing gel polish because I know some people probably, their gel polish is probably hanging. It probably was a full color and now it's probably a French manicure. So you're going to want to take that stuff off. So, because I know sometimes gel polish can start to lift, and then when you're washing your hair gets caught in it, and then it can kind of start tearing away at your nail bed and you get small little tears. So you want to kind of clip that stuff off. If you start seeing the lifting, you can always take your nail clipper and just clip where it's lifting, and then you want to start removing it at that point. So I have some things that you can find at home, or you can get at Target or Walmart, wherever you shop at. You're going to get a buffer. So a buffer, a nail file. You're going to get just some aluminum foil. You can cut them into little small squares. And then you need a cotton ball or cotton pads, and you're going to kind of break them up. And then just polish remover. Please don't judge my polish remover. It's very old. It's not non-toxic, which I would definitely recommend a non-toxic brand, which Target carries. There's like 10 over 10. And I think there's Ella and Mila. You guys should use those brands. That's just a little plug there. But you're going to want to break these up into small pieces. And you want it to fit your finger. So this is big enough to fit like my thumb. You want it to make sure that it covers the whole fingernail. All right, so when you first start, you're going to buff your nail first. You're going to go into circular motion, and you don't want to be rough. You just want to kind of take it where it's not shiny anymore. So once it kind of looks like a matte color, you're going to go ahead and start to saturate your cotton ball. And you want to, let me show you guys. You're going to take your fingernail, put the cotton ball on there, and then we're going to wrap it. So you're going to take this guy here, and you're going to wrap it nice and tight because you don't want any air to get in there. You don't want it to dry out. So you're going to kind of fold it like this and rub it really, or push it really tight against your nails. And then I do it one by one just because it's so much easier. And then you won't have any fingers to kind of take it off. So once you kind of let it sit for about 5 minutes, you're going to take either an orange wood stick, which looks like this guy here, and there's kind of like this slanted edge here. That's the side that you want to use. Now, if you do have a cuticle pusher, that is what we use in the salon. Now, if this is your first time, I wouldn't use the cuticle pusher just because it is metal and you can damage the nail very easily. But I will go into how to use this properly. But let's talk about the orange wood stick first. So you're going to use this edge here, and you're going to just kind of lift the polish down. You want, when you start taking off that cotton ball, it should start to kind of flake up. And then you can almost like lift it with your own finger. That's how you want it to look. Now, if it looks the same, you want to buff it a little bit more and wrap it again. Because what can happen is when you're using polish remover, it can dry out the nail bed and it can dry out really quickly. So you don't want to put it on and then go do something and then 10 minutes later it's all dried out, because then you've dried out your cuticles, you've dried out your skin, and then the nails, and then you have to redo it again. And you're just basically putting your nails through trauma that it doesn't need to go through. So make sure that you're checking it probably every 5 minutes and just kind of chipping away at it slowly, just to make sure they're nice and healthy. And then once that's done, you're gonna basically, you'll probably see a little bit of residue. You can always take the buffer and just again go in a circular motion and take that off. And then that's when you can start, you know, filing and cleaning up, and always go in with oil afterwards, because your nails are kind of dehydrated at that point. You want to make sure you definitely hydrate them with cuticle oil, or any oil that you have at home. And I mean, vitamin E oil is good, almond oil is good. I don't really recommend coconut oil because it can be drying, but vitamin E oil, almond oil is great. If you have pure shea butter, that's great too. But yeah, does anybody, really, do you have any questions about removing gel polish?
So far, everything's great.
Okay. Well, I want to go over, since you've taken off, let's say you've taken off your gel polish, let's go into like a at-home manicure. And this is stuff that you can, I mean, hopefully it's in your cupboard, or, you know, under your sink, or at home. You can just grab a file, another orange wood stick, your clipper, and then I'm gonna tell you guys how to use a cuticle pusher. Now, I would absolutely leave cuticles to a professional, just because you can really damage your cuticles. The cuticles are really tender. It's very thin skin around there. You never want to actually cut live skin. So there's kind of a thicker layer right where your, let me see if I, you guys, it's kind of like a smiley face, right where your skin and your nail would meet. Your cuticle is the barrier that keeps all the bacteria and germs out, to make sure you don't get any infections. So the best way to honestly push back your cuticles is when you're in the shower. So like when you're in the shower and the steam is going, it's a great time to kind of just push back with your other fingernails and push that dead skin back. But if you want to really thoroughly clean it, you can go in and, you know, I'm not sure if they have cuticle remover at the at like a grocery store, and that's why I say do it in the shower, just because that's like the easiest way to kind of get them softened. But if you can find some cuticle remover, you can go ahead and just dab it on your cuticles and just let it sit for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and you can start going in almost like a U shape. So you're going to kind of go down on this side, and then you kind of go down to the where the smiley face is, and then you can go on the other side. And you're just going to wipe it away. Don't use this guy. People get really excited with him, and really you can inflate your cuticles and you can start bleeding. We need the fatty tissue, which is the cuticle. So you don't want to clip that. Now, some people's cuticles, they are not made the same. Some people really have a ton of dead skin. So if you do need to use this, the only time I would use this at home without a professional is if you have visible dead skin. Now, visible dead skin is basically the white skin around your nails. So we would call it like a hangnail. So if you see a hangnail and that thing is kind of hanging loose, you want to clip that all the way to the white. So I don't really have an example here because I use Boss Gloss, so I don't really have a lot of hangnails. So if you see dead skin, and even calluses, I really develop a lot of skin around my middle finger, maybe because of phone usage, but a lot of people might have it like right here on the corners. If it's softened, you can kind of nip away at that stuff. But like, I know, like for me, I am a stress picker. Like if I'm driving, I might find my fingers in my mouth, which is not good. But you want to make sure as soon as you find a hangnail, clip that away, and then just hydrate it. And I promise you, once you start using oil, you probably, I don't remember the last time I had a hangnail. So yeah, that is a great way to maintain your nails, is the shower, not using a cuticle nipper. And then, let's talk about let's talk about how to file your nails and how to clip them at home. So I'm not a big clipper. Obviously, I like longer nails. I do have extensions on right now. But at home, what we usually see in the salon, and this is mainly for toes, is people cut their toes way too short. You want to make sure that you have some free edge. Free edge is basically the white part of your nail. You want to have some free edge there, because when you start to cut your toes way too short, it can cause an infection. You want to have something there to kind of like, you know, you get like fuzz in there, you get dirt there, you're walking on your feet. You want to make sure there's something there, especially for your nails too. You're touching things all day long. So that free edge almost kind of captures the dirt and the bacteria before it can kind of get into that skin. So what I recommend doing is making sure that you don't just go in with the clipper. So you want to go in halfway. So let's see if I can show you guys that. You're going to go halfway in here, and then you're going to meet it on the other side and clip. When you start going in all the way one clip, you can cause trauma to the nail, and you can crack the nail as well. So going in that way and then going in with a file. So what I usually recommend is give yourself a little bit of room to file. So don't clip it to where you would want it. Go in a little bit and then file it. And then you always want to file one way. So when you go in one way, I don't know if you guys can see that. You go in one way. This is another way to prevent breaking. This will prevent breaking and tearing. When you are going back and forth like this, it can cause a lot of damage, cracking, and peeling. So make sure that you're filing one way at home. I'm going to pull my camera just a little bit closer so you guys can see me a little bit better. All right, I am also going to go into pedicures at home. I know for me, I hate giving myself a pedicure because my back is not a 20-year-old's back anymore. So I really get in there. But at home, just some easy tips that you guys can use to just maintain foot care. My number one thing, especially when people come in for pedicures, once a year is not enough for a pedicure. You're using your feet every single day. You need to make sure that if you're not doing it at home or a professional's not doing it, you have to do something to maintain that foot health. So lotion on your feet is a big way to help those calluses. I know ladies or anybody who wears heels and open toe shoes, that causes that roughness on the heel and then on the sides of your toe. So where your big toe is, kind of like that other, I should probably know what that is, that there's like a callus where the big toe is, and then right at the heel, that's usually where we'll see all of the rough skin. So once you're putting lotion, so right out the shower, put your lotion on, put it under your foot, put it around, and that will really help maintain your the softness around your feet. You won't feel the tears on the blankets. So lotion, and then making sure if you can get one of these guys, this will help you clean out your toe. So the big toe can get a lot of fuzz there, just kind of cleaning under that free edge and on the sides. And then this guy here too. This is a pumming. I'm sure you guys have seen it. You can really get this anywhere, Walmart or Target. And while your feet are kind of soaking, like right before you leave the shower, just kind of hit it at those rough spots, like once in a while, maybe like even once a week to do this, especially in the summertime. I know we're going to be wearing flip-flops all day long. That will really cause a lot of rough skin. So, yeah. I think that is, I want to go over some nail art with you guys. If you guys are feeling fancy, I have some like just little fun stuff that you guys can use. I'm just going to show you some dotting stuff that you can do. So this is a dotting tool. You can get it really kind of anywhere. A really simple, minimal manicure, which is one of my favorites, is just like a clear coat of polish and like some dots. So you can, and with regular polish, you kind of want to move a little bit faster just because it does dry. It'll be more forgiving that way. But you can kind of go in here and just come to the base where the cuticle is and draw 3 little dots to the front or to the middle. Can you guys see that? Cool. And then, you know, to kind of make it fun, you can come from the side, and you can do this like differently on each fingernail where you kind of are positioning them in different ways. And then another really popular manicure, which is super simple because you need no talent or skill to do it, is a multi-manicure. So finding different colors that kind of complement each other. So I have, let's see, this guy here. You can use like different shades of pink or just whatever colors you like. You can do rainbows. And you can just kind of alternate the colors. In the salon, we use 5 different colors. So I would probably use like a dark pink, a light pink, maybe like a cream, and then even maybe like a neutral blue to kind of make the manicure pop. But this is a really popular minimal nail art option for you that you can do at home. But yeah, let's see. So I want to kind of go over some nail tears. Has anybody had a nail tear at home and it just kind of bothers you and you start picking at it and you probably break the fingernail? An easy way to kind of do that is buffing. So if you have like a tear right at the free edge, so the free edge would be where the hypernychium, which is this part right here, meets the free edge, and that kind of breaks right here. Sometimes it tears. You can either clip it if it's not too short, or you can buff it really, really smooth where it kind of, where when you start to run your finger, it's nice and smooth and you no longer feel it. And just put a base and a top coat on there. And then just kind of maintain that until it kind of grows out. And then you are gonna wanna clip it because it's just gonna keep on tearing. But the other way to do that is if you have some nail glue at home, you can also do the same method, put some nail glue on it. Like I know for our friends who have really long fingernails, you feel heartbroken when that fingernail kind of breaks. So if you do want to maintain that and there's just like a little tear, you can go in, buff it, and use the nail glue, buff it a little bit more, and you want to let this dry because it can get tacky and then it messes everything up. You can't polish over top of it. So let it dry and then go in with the top and the base and the top coat. And then another, if you're a little bit more advanced, you can take a tea bag, like any tea bag at home, cut it open, take all the herbs out of it, and then you can use that for really major tears. And you can cut it into a small square, and you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna buff it until it's nice and smooth, and you're gonna cut it into a square or a circle, whatever kind of fits the fingernail, to cover enough where the tear is, and you're gonna lay it flat, and then you're gonna dab the glue on top of it and let it settle a little bit, and then you're gonna buff it smooth, and then you'll put the base and the top coat on. So those are three nice things. You can just a nice little buff, top and base coat, and then you can use the glue, or you can use a tea bag. All right. I want to go over some fungus kind of stuff. This is not something that we take care of in the salon because we're not podiatrists, so you wouldn't want to go to a professional to make sure that you're diagnosed properly. But at home, you can take care of a few different funguses. So a fungus can mean so many different things, and there's a ton of them out there, and you can catch them from, you know, going to the gym and not wearing shoes, or wearing sweaty socks, whatever. But if you get a fungus on your toe, it might, sorry, this is not the glamorous side of nails, but it might smell, it might hurt a little, it might itch, your nails might start to peel back or grow thicker. The nail or the skin around it can get flaky. So my #1 recommendation is to make sure, one, you're cleaning it out and using tea tree oil. Tea tree oil will really cure some stuff. I have seen some things, and tea tree oil can really, really help. I mean, with it, like if you're consistent with it, using it once, I mean, I would say once every other day out of the shower and letting it soak in. And you can find tea tree oil, I think, at like Whole Foods or Wegmans. And you can, it's inflammatory, and it can help with a lot of different funguses. But we actually have a tea tree oil in our Push Queen Boss Gloss, but you can use it straight on, but tea tree oil can be pretty strong. So, you know, if you want to mix it with some other oils at home, that would be great. But just dabbing it and rubbing it in and letting it soak in there. So when you're applying any kind of oil to your skin, you have to keep in mind right now with this pandemic, people are washing their hands so many times a day, which is fantastic, but it does cause a lot of dry skin. And dry skin, just like your hair, if you're washing your hair, you would never shampoo your hair without conditioning it. So this goes for your hands too. Your skin and your hands are made of the same thing as your hair. So you want to make sure that when you are washing your hands, you are hydrating it right after. And I know that's a lot for people, but you know, make sure that you keep something in your hand, especially the like P.O.W.E.R, the hand sanitizers. Those have alcohol in it, and alcohol is extremely drying. So I would make sure that you have something afterwards, making sure that you are applying some kind of moisturizer on. And obviously we have Boss Gloss. This is what we use in the salon, and it's something that we make. But you can, to apply any kind of cuticle oil, you want to apply it right here, kind of at that like top knuckle area. Can you guys see that? And you're gonna just put it not just where the cuticle is, but you want to rub it all the way around. And you're gonna rub it in there until it's not greasy and shiny looking, where it just kind of looks kind of illuminating and hydrated. And you can really tell the difference between, like, look how my skin looks a little bit brighter. I just applied that. So just applying that, and if you can't remember to do it throughout the day, do it right before bedtime, because you're not gonna wake up, you know, throughout the night, hopefully not, and you can let that soak in, and you're not washing your hands. So making sure you at least put this on 2-3 times a day. This will really help your nail care at home. And then just in general. We also have a to-go version. So, and again, you know, anything at home. If you have almond oil, vitamin E oil, jojoba oil is fantastic. If you guys have jojoba oil, leave it on your nightstand and use it there. I want to go over how to remove polish, just because sometimes if you guys have like darker polish, it can kind of get all over the skin. So this is just like an easy tip. You're gonna wanna make sure you saturate your cotton ball or whatever you're using, saturate it nice, and let it sit on the fingernail for a little bit, and then go down firmly. And if not, it might come off in one go, especially with glitter polish. So glitter polish is such a pain. It is, I say red polish and glitter polish is a nail artist's is arch nemesis, because it takes forever to come off. So if you let it soak for a little bit, just let it sit there and then pull down, and don't wipe it everywhere, because that's when it gets all on the skin, and then you have a glitter index finger for some time. But yeah, I think that is some of my nail tips if anybody has questions.
So Reece, we've had a few questions come in through the chat, and everyone feel free to add more. First question is, what can you do to strengthen your nails at home?
So again, any kind of, so you have to remember your nail bed is, it's breathable, like you can absorb nourishment in it. So using oil, things like jojoba oil, and vitamin E, that stuff is going to repair the keratin in your nails. And I know there's like a lot of marketing stuff, you know, that you can buy at, you know, the store where it has all this stuff in it. Just to be careful, make sure you're reading it. I go for things that are no fluff. So making sure that, you know, just maybe 1 to 3 ingredients in it. And then using a clear coat that's your favorite and putting that on. And that will really help strengthen nails, making sure that they're hydrated and making sure that skin is strong and elastic around the nails. That's going to keep the nail bed kind of like safe and secure.
Okay. Next question was, should you have sort of a rest period on your nails between manicures? You know, if you're constantly doing gel nails or something, do you recommend giving your nails a break at any point?
So gel polish is flexible and it's breathable. As long as you're taking gel polish off properly, you shouldn't have to have any breaks. Making sure that you're maintaining nail care at home. I mean, as long as you're, you know, making sure that it's removed properly. That's the part that damages the nail.
Okay. Good tip. Okay. Next question is, dip powder is very popular lately. Is that sanitary, you know, to keep dipping your nails into the same polish as a bunch, or same dip as a bunch of other people?
And I throw this to Shay. He is one of our lead nail artists, and he can answer that question.
Perfect.
So dip, I wouldn't categorize it as sanitary. It's, you know, especially a lot of at traditional nail salons, they don't, or it's very few and far between for them to have their clients wash their hands prior to their service starting. So, you know, you walk in, you sit down, and the artist starts doing your nails, but you could have coughed into your hands, or, you know, it's been a while since you've washed them. So all the bacteria that you've picked up since the last time you sanitized them, it's still on your hands. And so if you're putting your fingers into the pod of powder, it's, you know, you're leaving behind bacteria from your hands for the next person to go into. So I wouldn't say that it's sanitary.
Okay, good to know. Next question, which I think I saw somebody already kind of touch on in the chat box, was, you know, how do you make your feet smooth at home? Should you use like a callus remover? I know y'all kind of talked about using a pumice stone in the shower. You know, is there any other tips you recommend?
Well, yeah, that's I mean, lotion is going to be my number one tip. Hitting it with a P.O.W.E.R. I am going to say this just because I know it is very common in traditional nail salons, is the cheese grater. Do not let anybody come near your and this is why, you know, it might feel nice and smooth when you leave, but you have to think about skin. When you break that skin, it is basically like, oh my God, what happened? And it is growing back tougher and harder because you've basically scared it and it's trying to protect you. So that skin is going to come back tougher every single time. So when you are using a P.O.W.E.R, you're just literally like buffing away dead skin that doesn't belong there anymore. But when you're using a cheese grater or, you know, any kind of blade near your live skin, you're taking away live skin. So lotion and the P.O.W.E.R. And if you keep at it, I promise you, you will see results. Now, some people have been using that cheese grater for a while, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but be patient with yourself and just make sure that you're using lotion. And you use thicker lotions. Also, like putting lotion on and some oil and put your socks on. I don't like to sleep with socks on, so I understand. But like if you're like at home reading a book, now is like the perfect time to come out as a butterfly after quarantine is over. So put your socks on and then you'll feel nice and smooth. Like leave it on like, you know, for like 8 hours or, you know, during your day or like at nighttime if you can't sleep with socks on.
Okay, great. Next question, how can you prevent ingrown toenails?
Okay, we see this and people ask all the time. The only, I guess, tip that I can give, just because that is for a podiatrist, is do not cut inwards. So if you are, let me grab my little friends here. If this is your toe or your fingernail, you don't want to cut inwards here. You want to cut straight across, because when you're cutting inwards, again, it's like growing where you cut, basically. I don't know why ingrown toenails do that. Do not let anybody pull them out. I know they are painful. You need to see a professional for it. Do not try to dig them out, because again, they will grow back the same way. You're almost like putting a Band-Aid, like a short relief for it. Make sure that you go to a professional for that. And sometimes they'll have to take out the whole toenail, and then a new one will grow back. Your toes will grow back. And here's another tip, which for some reason, probably because I have treated my toes very badly. I have a story to tell. I lost my toenail. I've lost my toenail many, many times. It is something that happens. Yes, Michaela, it happens, and you will see it, okay? You can, it just would just die off, and your toenail will come back, but they have fake toenails out there. You can, if you have a little bit of a free edge or some kind of nail bed there, get some glue on there and slap that toenail right on and just polish it, and nothing ever happened. I promise you, somebody knew, and he never knew, so.
Shay's losing it. That must be a great story. Oh my gosh. Okay, next question. Do you recommend pedicure peels that are popular? This one says like baby feet.
Yes, I think baby feet is good. Now, it's not something that I would use like all the time, but like maybe like out of the winter time, you can use it right before, spring. But it really gets, you shed for probably 3 days when you use baby foot. So I would recommend it.
Okay, great. That's all the questions I see in the chat, but if anybody else has a question, feel free to type it, or we can unmute you, or feel free to ask anything. These have been awesome tips.
Yeah, a lot of foot health. I think everybody's getting ready for pedi season. But I would say, like, you definitely want to make sure you're maintaining every 4 to 6 weeks for a pedicure, whether you're doing it at home or you're going into a salon. I know some people, it's a treat for them, but maintain at home with the lotion and clean out your toenails.
All great.
Lauren, I think this is a great time. Reece is wanting to give a gift. And so who is that special person that's going to win
That
today?
would be Phyllis Simon.
All right. Congratulations.
So I have some home nail care stuff for you. And also, once we let out, you can use this with your regular manicures as well.
Well, thank you
Great.
so much. This has been a great
Yay.
session.
So Phyllis, can you drop your email address in the chat so Reece can get in touch with you?
Sure. I'll do that.
Good.
Awesome. Well, we've recorded this, so I know I'm going to go back and watch this probably 20 times to do my own manicure and pedicure. So if you do want to go back and watch this, it'll be posted out on our social media and on our website, so you can.
Again, thank you, Reece. Thank you for the Holy Chic team being on here as well this morning. We really appreciate that. And also thank you for giving us and providing all this knowledge that you have, because there were some definitely great tips and demonstrations. And also talking about next week. Okay, so we've now taken care of our beauty tips. We've done nail care, and next week we're going to do hairstyles and some different tips on hair. And I think that's all important for all of us, because I don't know how many of you have been able to go to a salon. None of us have. So we need the help there too. So thank you so much today for everything, and look forward to seeing you next Friday. And have a powerful day and a great weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Reece.